What's up, world? Welcome to another TYSK report. Let's go ahead and dive in to talk about the tech news that happened this week. Dutch scientists built a brainless soft robot that runs on air. A team of Dutch scientists at the FOM Institute for Molecular and Atomic Physics, AMOF, in Amsterdam built a new kind of robot that can run, go over obstacles, and even swim, all driven only by the flow of air. And it does all that with no brain at all. The robot is controlled by motion through constraining its geometry in very specific ways, and the design is comprised of a 3D printed body with 4 attached tubes bent at the bottom to form the robot's legs. Powered by a continuous stream of air alone, each of the robot's soft, tubular legs begins to oscillate, not unlike those you see in tube dancers outside car dealerships. On its own, each leg waves around randomly, but when many are coupled together, something unexpected happens. Their motions quickly synchronize, falling into rhythmic locomotion gaits. In an example, the robot could adjust its gait to the environment it was in. On the ground, all limbs autonomously activated in synchrony, and the robot ran a bit like a spotting gazelle. In the water, where the tubes met less resistance than on the ground, the limbs moved in anti-phase to enable swimming like a dog. When a flow of air is given as an input, the robot hits 30 body lengths per second, so this speed is orders of magnitude faster than other air-powered robots, which typically require centralized control. So with robots running on air, at some point we could possibly see robots running on cooking oil, motor oil, seawater, or other things that we can't think about right now because of all the innovative opportunities that are available for researchers and scientists to make these robots run on those things. Because of this news, we could see a collection of different robots running strictly on physics, where all the interesting things that physics entails will be able to show us its capabilities of bringing different robots to life. Apple has teamed up with Synchron to develop tech that lets people control its devices with thoughts. Apple has partnered with brain-computer interface maker Synchron to develop tech that lets consumers control devices like iPhones with their thoughts, according to a report. This is primarily intended to help people with medical conditions that limit hand use, such as spinal cord injuries or diseases like ALS. Synchron has been developing a stent-like implant that's placed in a vein on top of the brain's motor cortex. It's called the stentrode, and it reads brain signals before translating them into the selection of icons on a screen. People can use the implant to select icons on Apple devices thanks to the software called Switch Control. Human trials of stentrode have been successful, and now the two companies are working to develop a new standard for the technology specifically for Apple devices. These implants are typically called brain-computer interfaces, and Apple looks forward to a day when this type of technology receives approval from the Food and Drug Administration. In addition, an early tester used Apple's new software along with a stentrode implant to control the Apple Vision Pro and other devices. The ALS patient was able to peer over a mountain in the Swiss Alps in VR and communicate with his iPhone and iPad. So usually when we hear about someone controlling devices with their thoughts, we always think about Neuralink, but it's always refreshing to bring you something like this because Neuralink is not the only company working on creating this type of technology for those individuals with those medical conditions. Also, because of all the changes that are happening in the world of technology, this could be Apple's opportunity to dive into something a little different and to have a niche specific use case for a virtual reality headset. Philips will let you fix your trimmer with 3D printable parts and accessories. Philips has announced a new initiative that will let consumers 3D print their own replacements for small but essential parts included with many of its personal health products. Philips Fixables is launching in the Czech Republic, where Prusa Research, the company's partner for the initiative, is based. But the actual files that can be downloaded and 3D printed are being freely shared through the Printables platform, which is accessible globally. Philips says it's working with Prusa Research to ensure the 3D printed replacement parts it designs and releases meets the company's standards for quality and safety. But it also points out that the durability and functionality of the replacements will depend on users sticking to the 3D printing material and guidelines the company recommends. So while Fixables is a long way from making a real dent in waste from personal care products, it is exciting to see a major brand making a serious effort to explore the potential of 3D printing for better sustainability. Sustainability is a word that we haven't heard in a little while on this channel, but that doesn't mean that different companies aren't working towards towards making things more sustainable based on their operations and what they do for their company. Also, when we hear about 3D printing, it's always connected to big projects. So things like companies building neighborhoods, houses, or even this right here of this train station being built with 3D printing technology out there in Japan. As 3D printing continues to move and develop and grow, I think at some point it's going to have its moment in the sun where the world is going to be interested in 3D printing a lot more than they are right now. Universal Robots releases the UR15, its fastest cobot yet. Universal Robots unveiled its fastest collaborative robot, Cobot, recently. The UR15 has a maximum TCP speed of 5 milliseconds to reduce cycle times, increase productivity, and reduce costs across applications and industries. For pick-and-place applications, the company said the UR15 delivers up to 30% cycle time improvements compared to other UR models. At the same time, it maintains the characteristics UR cobots are known for, such as a lightweight design and small footprint. When combined with Optive Move, UR's new motion control technology, gains are able to go further. Optive Move can enhance trajectory smoothness and ensure consistently accurate movements even in high speeds and high payload applications. UR has been a long-time leader of the cobot industry. Earlier this year, it surpassed 100,000 cobots sold over the lifetime of the company. This year, for the first time, the Association for Advancing Automation A3 included cobot statistics in its quarterly North American robot numbers. A3 found that overall, robot sales remained mostly flat from last year, with units ordered increasingly 0.4% to 9,064 units. Cobots made up 11.6% of all robots ordered. UR15 runs with both Polyscope 5 and Polyscope X, UR software platform, and users can enhance it with AI to enable higher usability. The company said end users can use the UR15 with the UR AI Accelerator, UR's toolkit for developing AI-powered applications. The UR AI Accelerator is developed in collaboration with NVIDIA using NVIDIA's Isaac CUDA accelerated libraries and models and running on the NVIDIA Jetson AGX Orin system on module. UR is designed to be a versatile cobot with multiple applications and industries. Some of those industries it's targeting in particular include automotive, metal and machining, and electronics. So it's always great to bring you information about the numbers that are connected to robots. And as mentioned in this tech news, those robot sales are flat, but that does not mean that things can't change within the blink of an eye. So I do think that that's good for workers where companies are thinking about integrating this type of technology, and it's also an opportunity for people to continue to stay mindful of it as things change and technology continues to advance. IBM plans to deploy India's most powerful quantum computer. IBM has announced plans to install the most powerful quantum computer in India in a new collaboration with digital transformation company Tata Consultancy Services. The initiative is set to take place in the upcoming Quantum Valley Tech Park in Amaravati, the capital of Andhra Pradesh. Here, IBM will install its quantum system 2, featuring a 156-qubit Heron quantum processor. The project is being positioned as a major step in advancing India's role in the global quantum computing landscape. In a statement, TCS said IBM's quantum system 2 will support the development of algorithms and systems to help the Indian industry and academia solve some of the nation's most complex challenges. According to the CTO at TCS, the project will specifically look to develop advanced quantum solutions across critical sectors, including life sciences, cryptography, energy, and manufacturing. The partnership between IBM and TCS also includes regional access to IBM's cloud-based quantum computing platforms. The companies say that this will enable local researchers, developers, and engineers to build new quantum applications and accelerate research in the field. Under the new project, the government hopes to attract international investment and create high-value jobs in the emerging quantum sector. So that's just some of the latest news when it comes to the world of quantum computing, but specifically in connection to India. And it looks like more countries are continuing to find ways to integrate this technology for future use cases to improve or enhance things that are happening within their country. But a thing to point out is how these people within this quantum computing industry are looking to pivot away from qubit talk and move towards conversations and discussions about the use case for business. Hell Helsing's AI submarine joins Europe's growing ocean drone fleet. Helsing, Europe's best-funded defense tech startup, has unveiled its latest product, an autonomous mini-submarine for underwater reconnaissance. Dubbed SG-1 Fathom, the sub is the latest addition to Europe's growing fleet of ocean drones, which aim to better protect the continent's ships and subsea infrastructure from surveillance, sabotage, and attacks. The 1.95-meter Fathom is designed to slowly patrol the ocean for up to 3 months at a time. The vessel is powered by an AI platform called Lura. The system is a large acoustic model, LAM, like a large language model, LLM, but for sound. Lura is able to classify sounds made by ships and submarines and then pinpoint their locations. Helsing said the algorithm can identify sounds at volumes 10 times quieter than competing AI models. It also works at 40 times the speed of an equivalent human operator. Helsing said the mass-producible submarines can be deployed in 100-strong constellations to carry out large-scale surveillance. Ocean reconnaissance of this kind has become increasingly urgent since the 2022 Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. Helsing looks to capitalize on this political momentum, and the company stated that last month it won over a dozen contracts with total order volumes of hundreds of millions of dollars since its founding in 2021. So as stated before, when I talk about companies like Anduril and others, a lot of this defense tech is moving in the direction of being AI enabled, and because lots of countries are looking to be more independent and not have to rely on others, I believe this will continue and we will begin to hear more and more news about integrating this type of technology for strategic purposes and also to be prepared for anything that comes. Air taxi company plans hybrid electric version to go 1,000 miles. Vertical Aerospace, an electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle maker, announced it's developing a hybrid electric version of its flying vehicle to increase the range up to 1,000 miles. The air taxi company's second-generation hybrid propulsion system has been in development for 18 months at the Vertical Energy Center, according to the company. The plan is to retrofit the system into one of the Vertical's VX4 full-scale prototypes and start flight testing in 2026. The hybrid version of Vertical's VX4 could carry more than 2,000 pounds in addition to its 1,000-mile range. The initial hybrid variant would use a gas turbine generator burning conventional jet fuels, a spokesperson stated. Vertical completed piloted testing earlier this year, allowing its VX4 prototype to move into real-world operating conditions for the first time. For the completed testing, the EAV completed more than 30 piloted test flights, which included hover and low-speed flight maneuvers and handling, and performance procedures including roll, yaw, and spot turns.